Does anybody have any questions at all? Raise up your hand and you can throw them at me.
Derek?
Yes.
Why at certain points during that song do the men hold their heads up and the women hold up the feather?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Gilbert, that was a good question. Where's my Google? There's a time when you'll see it at many of our powwows or gatherings when honor songs are being played. Honor songs for our elders, for individuals, even for people who passed on, and also for newborn babies. When we see that happening in those songs, it is our way as men to show our strength by saying that our hands are up, that we're there to protect, to make sure that they're taken care of. But we are the ones that obviously as men we need to be taken care of, because our women really are the warriors of our nations. And at many of our big powwows, you'll hear George Paul over here saying, "Ta-ho!" You know? Pardon me? And George, stand up there. Show us your handsome self. This fellow over here. George, are you still with Red Ochre Singers? Red Ochre Band. He has CDs for sale. Good old-fashioned Mi'kmaq songs from the East Coast. So go on over and see him if you guys have some extra money. It does help him get around, travel, to promote the music that he's been making for, 30 years? 20 years. See, my math is really bad still. I need a math teacher. All right, so George is a real inspiration to many of us with some of the songs that he's helped find, for our nations as Mi'kmaq people, and also almost like a song that represents the East Coast, which is the honor song. And so we have a lot of our heroes that are here in this room today, that we try our best to celebrate. And these are people that teach, they promote, and they understand the way of life. And we are out there as much as we possibly can. So yeah, when we have individuals dancing, we raise our hands to show that we support them. Does anybody else have a question? Yes. The eagle. Well, you'll see it on my back. And no, I did not shoot him. I didn't run him over with a car. But I like to tell stories. I like to tell a lot of stories. And I always kind of exaggerate a little bit. But I always end up telling the truth in the end. I make sure that I tell the truth. But this is a true story. The eagle represents our prayer, our pride. He's asking if they can leave for a few more minutes. It represents our spirituality. Now, this bird that you see on my back is a golden eagle. A long time ago, before the drum was brought to our people as First Nations people, there was a lot of warring going on. The old story goes that there were people and they were dancing. Now, if you watch an eagle up in the air, they're flying and they look beautiful. They're gliding and gliding and their wings are spread out real beautiful like. And their heads are constantly moving and you can tell that they're looking. Their vision is great. Well, the people that were on the earth were moving around and they spread out their wings, their arms, as far as they can go. And they started kind of mimicking the movement of the eagle as she flew. Now, back in the old days, the laws of nature, the understanding that we can connect and communicate with animals was an amazing thing. Our teachers and our oral history tells us that we were able to. We see it in today's world with the dog whisperers, the horse whisperers, that people can do that. Well, these men were out and they were moving around in particular ways, and this eagle landed on the ground. She communicated with the elders, and she asked, "What are you guys doing?" And they said, "Well, we're dancing." And she was like, "Well, what is it?" And the people they said to her, "Well, we're trying to honor you by spreading our arms out like your wings, by moving our head the way you do when you're flying." And she said, "Can I try it?" and they were honored. So they started to sing. And when they started to sing, that eagle was on her 2 feet, and she started trying to walk. So she spread out her wings and she fell over. She said, "Can I try it again?" And they said, "Yes." So she tried it again, and she would move a few more feet and she would fall over again. She did it 3 times where she fell over and she realized that she couldn't do it. She wasn't meant to walk on the earth, to dance on the earth. But she knew that we were, that our feet were meant to be on the ground. So the eagle said to the elders, "If you take my feathers from my wings, from my body, and you use them, it would be an honor to me. But you have to make sure that my death is very quick and very painless. And I want the oldest person in the community to do this." So they picked an elder, one of their oldest, who had respect and love and understanding towards all nations, towards all people. And she ended that eagle's life really quickly. And they dispersed all the feathers to all the dancers, so that when the people would dance, they carried their feathers on their back, like her tail, like her wings. And they started to dance. Not long after, as they were all dressed in the feathers, another eagle had landed, and it was her mate. And the eagle had asked what had happened to her mate, to his mate. They had said that she had voluntarily given her life so that we can dance and celebrate with her feathers, because it was a way that we were honoring them. And that eagle himself donated his feathers by taking his own life at the hands of that elder. And so when we see our dancers carrying these bustles, and they're called feather bustles, the story goes back thousands of years. The story has changed a little bit, and here and there. It does change, but the history behind it stays the same. We try our best not to change too much of the oral history, because it has remained the same for thousands of years. We live in a day and age where there's so many things that we have that can't alter things. But we're very fortunate that after 500 some years, we can still share these stories. We can still share our languages, our dances, our culture, our history, and still know it very accurately. So that's the story of how our feathers come to be, and a little story about the eagle. So right now we're going to ask our traditional dancers to come on out. A sneak up. All right. Whoa. I gotta catch my breath here. I've been talking for a long time.